there, this is Skeleton Key, and I'm going to try something a little bit different for my September TBR. So I haven't exactly worked out the details on that, and yes, I know this is August 30th, and I'm still kind of I don't know how I'm going to do my TBR. It's going to be just a little bit different from how I do it. So a lot of it you won't see, but I'm putting together this video so that you can see at least a little bit of my process for that. And one thing that I am doing completely differently is that I'm going to play Becca and the Books Bookoplathon game. So I'm going to do the roll as you go method. I'm not going to put together my whole Bookoplathon TBR right now. So right now, what I'm going to do is I am going to roll my first roll. If I get a double, I guess I'll do my second roll. But I will pick out my first book or books, and that way I will get started on my TBR, and then I'll report back with some of the ideas I have for changing up my TBR for September just a little bit. So here we have Becca's Bookoplathon board with the chance cards and the community shelf cards, and I just want to say this is totally freaking amazing. I have zero art skills, so I am just in awe of people who can do this kind of thing. This is like magic to me. Printed off the little guide that kind of goes into a little bit more detail as to what each square means. But right now I am just going to roll. Oh, I guess I need to pick out a token first. Let's go with Patience the cat. And we will put Patience on the go square. Alrighty. And now, I need to pick out my dice. I need 2d6s. Should I do a dragon die? Let's do a dragonborn die. Oh, and I've got a sparkly die. Alright, so I've got my dice. And let's roll. Got a 3 and a 2. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Translated. Huh. Okay, I think this might be what I'm going to go with. The Sorrows of Young Werther by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. My German's crap, sorry. Which is why I'm reading it in translation. Yeah, I have this ebook collection. It's like one. No, is it one or two? I guess it's 2 volumes of an ebook, and each one has 50 public domain works. They were just kind of like, I think, grabbed it from Project Gutenberg and slapped it into an ebook. But the library has the audiobook version on Hoopla. And it's 5 hours long, so it's nice and short. This says it's epistolary, but I saw something else that said it was in a diary format. So if it's a diary format, then I can use it. I've got another challenge that I have to read something written as a diary. So maybe, I don't know. But this will be my translated work for Bookoplathon. So I'm starting to put together my whole TBR for September. So I start with my core list, and that is, first of all, the book clubs that I have to read specific books for. And so I've got 11 specific books for specific book clubs. Some of those are online book clubs, some of those are in-person book clubs that have mostly gone online. Yeah, so that's 11 books right there. Then I add in my NetGalleys that I want to read this month, and I'm sure I'm not going to get to all 5 of them. Some of them are overdue, and some of them are ones that are actually being released this month. The ones that are going to be released this month are the ones that I'm actually giving priority to. I've picked out a few books already for kind of specific readathons, like the Buzzwordathon. I've picked out that book, and then I've got 2 other readathons that I've picked out books for. And then I've got 3 other books that I need to read, and I really should try to read them this month, although one I'm still on hold at the library and I don't know if I'll even get it this month, but that's for another video that I haven't told you about yet. So those 3 are kind of a secret right now. My core TBR is 22 books. I mean, obviously I'm not even going to get to all 22 of those in September, but that's what I'm aiming for. My next step is to then go through all of my reading challenges, most of them being annual reading challenges, or these are challenges that go over several months, and adding in, well, first I have to calculate where I am as far as being on track for finishing those, and then deciding which ones I need to give higher priority to, and figuring out how many that I need to read in a month. So I'll start off with the one that I really need to give priority to, and that is my personal reading challenge. That is one where at the end of the year, all of the prompts from other challenges that I have not completed, I roll them over onto my personal reading challenge. And last year there were a lot. And the reason I want to give these super high priority is because if they're still on my challenge list, those prompts at the beginning of next year, I will have to finish them first before I can move on to anything else on that list. So, and like at the beginning of this year, I had 5 of those, and I think at least 5, and that was really kind of a hassle. So I don't want to deal with that next January. So I'm going to really, really try to get through all of these prompts. Yeah. So I need to read 7 books this month. Actually, 7 books a month until the end of the year in order to succeed at that. Fortunately, some of the books that I already have on my core TBR will count for this. So that's what I need to do next, is go through and see which ones count, and then see how many more I have to add to my TBR. Okay, so there were only 2 books on my core TBR that would count, and that's assuming that The Sorrows of Young Werther, I don't know how it's pronounced. I guess it's an audiobook, so assuming the narrator knows what they're doing, I'll find out how to pronounce it. But assuming that counts as a book written as a journal, and I have a feeling I'm going to make it count for that, even if it doesn't quite fit. That's 2 books, and I need another 5. I have a plan for adding to it that involves dice, But this challenge is a little bit different in that it's divided into sections, and the first section is set up such that if I finish these two specific prompts, then I get a free space. And so it's like whatever I read after I finish that second book, that second prompt, then counts, even no matter what. So that's 3. So I can kind of work ahead on this without like really getting my TBR going crazy. And then there's another section where if I finish 2 prompts, I get another free space. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and put those 4 down and not a 5th. And that way, read the. So I'm going to go with read the second book of a trilogy. Well, it's a 3-part prompt, basically. It's to read an entire trilogy this year. I've already read the first book of the trilogy, which is Scandalously Yours by Cara Elliott. So I'm going to go ahead and add the second and third books in the trilogy. And those are Sinfully Yours and Passionately Yours. That's the Hellions of High Street trilogy. It's Regency romance. At least the first one was a lot of fun. So there we go. And then the second grouping, the first prompt is a book by Anne Rice, and I have a copy of Interview with the Vampire, and this is Frightfall and Readers Imbibing Peril, and yeah, so definitely gonna go with that. And then a book with the word dream in the title, and I couldn't find any books with the word dream in the title, so I'm going to go with Tree of Dreams. Either that or Lincoln's Dreams, I think. There's a Connie Willis book, and it's short, so I may end up doing that instead. But Laura Risa wrote a book recently, a couple years ago, called Tree of Dreams, and I have a copy of that, so that would work as well. And I think it would probably be a pretty quick read, and I really like her stuff, so that will take care of that challenge. So then next, I have 2 challenges that I need to read 4 books for this summer. I'm going to go with Pop Sugar's Summer Reading Challenge because, summer's pretty much over. And they didn't set an actual, time frame for it. They just said summer. So I get to decide for myself when summer ends. So I'm going to just call it at Labor Day. So I've got just a week. And so I have to read all 4 of these. One of them is a book with an item you'd find at the beach in the title. And I don't know, I'm probably just going to go with something already on the TBR, core TBR for that. I've got Lost Things, sure. If it's lost, then you can find it, right? That counts. But I've got other things that, yeah, sure, that counts. So yeah, I'll just put the other 3 on there and pick out books for those. I do have specific books, like a book with summer in the title. Yeah, I'll try Summer of 42. I'm not liking it. It will probably DNF it, and this will probably land on my personal challenge next year. Yay. A book with a summer drink or cocktail on the cover. I have Whiskey Sour by J.A. Conrath. So that should work. A book that makes you nostalgic for summer. And I've already started it. It's Aristotle and Dante, or Dante and Aristotle. Anyway, these 2 dudes discover the secrets of the universe. and it's not set entirely in summer, but it starts in summer, and they give the date, and I'm like, I remember that. So, and so it was kind of interesting because they were about my age and uh, that summer, and so yeah, there was a lot of nostalgia, at least in the first part of the book. So, and it had to go back to the library, but I've got it back from the library now. So I'm probably just, it's a really quick read. Yeah, even though I didn't get it finished that time. But it does move very quickly, so I'll probably just start over from the beginning uh, and read the entire thing. And then my other challenge that I need to read 4 books for is Lindsay the Bookworm Challenge. So I'll check and see what I might already have on my core TBR for that. Then we'll pull out the dice. So for the Lindsay the Bookworm reading challenge, I have 9 prompts that I can choose from for this month, and I need 4 of them. So I am going to roll a d10. Here's a d10. Ooh, it's pretty shiny. You can't really tell. It's kind of marbly looking. So I'm going to roll this d10 for each of those prompts. If I roll a 10 or 0 on this die, then I'll re-roll for that prompt. But let's see what the first one is. So that is number 2. So that's a 2. So that gets me... Read a book recommended on your local library's website. And every now and then I go look up on the local website. So I have 4 books listed that actually interest me. One is The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. One is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. One is The Mothers. I can't remember the author's name on that. I think it's the same author as The Vanishing Half. So I think I might end up doing that one. And the other is The Only Good Indians, and that is by Stephen Graham Jones. I am currently on the wait list at the library for that one. So I have a feeling I'm going to go with The Mothers. So that's what I'm going to put down. I'm going to put down The Mothers. So that leaves me with 8 prompts. So I'm going to switch to a D8. Here is a purple D8. And let's see what we get. Where'd it go? That is a 5. So that prompt is read a book about an assassin. So I'm going to go with Hit List by Lawrence Block, and that is the second in his series about a hitman. And I'm not sure. I know the first book was a collection of short stories. I think this one might also be a collection of interrelated short stories, or maybe it's a novel. I don't know. We'll find out. So that takes me down to 7 prompts to choose from. So I'm going to stay with the D8. But if I roll an 8, then that's a roll again. So that is 4. And actually, I'm going to change my mind. I'm not going to use the roll on this one because this is another challenge that if I read certain books from certain sections, then, or if I complete certain prompts from certain sections, then I get a free space. So if I read The Mothers and I read a classic fairy tale, and I've got La Belle et la Bête I've already started for that one. So if I finish both of those prompts, then I get a free space. So I'm going to do that and then I'll keep the roll for the hit list, the assassin book. So, yeah. So, heading into 3-book territory, I have Farinay's Ultimate Reading Challenge. And I can fit 3 books already into the books I have listed. And that's from the Habitica app that I use. And then there's the Booklist Queen Challenge, which, again, I can fit books from my list already into 3 of those prompts. So, yay! So I don't have to add anything else just yet to my TBR, which is big already. And so that puts us into 2-book territory. So first on that list, I've got the Reading Women Challenge. So for the Reading Women Challenge, I have 7 prompts to choose from. There were 8, but one of them is already fulfilled with my current reading list. So I'm gonna go with a D8, but if it rolls an 8, then I get to re-roll. So do I want to go with purple, or there's a nice blue, or let's do dragon. Let's do dragon. Woohoo! Where'd it go? There it is. That is a 6. So that prompt is a book from the 2019 Reading Women Award shortlists and honorable mentions. The only one I can think of off the top of my head that I know fits that is The Collected Schizophrenias. And I do have a copy of that. I've even started reading it, so I can get back to that one. Yay! So now, next up for the 2-book requirement is Alphabet Soup, which is a challenge to read a book with a title beginning with each letter of the alphabet. So 26 books in all. The English alphabet, I guess I should clarify. And so I am down to some of the more difficult letters. J, K, Q, V, X, Y, and Z. So that's 7? So I'll go back to rolling a D8, and if I roll an 8, I roll again. Let's go with a sparkly D8. That is a 6. 4, 5, 6. Y. I need to read a Y book. And let's see what the other one is. So now we're down to 6. So I will roll a D6. That is a 3. So J, K, Q. Q. So I could maybe give Quiet another go. I'm not loving that one, actually, but I probably should finish it. Or I could do the Quincunx. And technically on this challenge, for the really hard letters like the Q and the X and the Z, it doesn't have to be the first word of the title. It can be any word in the title that starts with that letter. But I mean, I have Q books, so let's go with Quiet for now. Well, I don't know. I really want to read the Quincunx. I'm going to put the Quincunx down. Yeah, it's long, but yeah, let's do it. So for my Y book, what I did was I just opened up my Goodreads obtained list, and that's books I have but I haven't read yet. And I looked in the Ys. What caught my eye was Youth by Isaac Asimov, because I actually have another challenge, and it's one I've already picked books for, but hey, maybe this will get me moving a little bit faster on that challenge. And it's to read a book by Isaac Asimov, and it's a short story, but it has a Goodreads entry. It looks to be a valid Goodreads entry, so I'll count it. And now I just have to figure out where it is. I'm guessing it's an ebook. maybe. I don't know. But if I can find it, that's what I'm reading for my YA book. So next up on my list of my challenge that requires 2 books this month is the Pop Sugar Challenge, just the regular challenge, not the summer specific one. And I've got 1 book already on my TBR, so that means I need to roll 1 more. And there are 5 prompts, so I'm going to roll a d6 again. And of course, if it hits 6, I roll again. That's a 6. That is a 2. Hey there, editing this monster, and I don't know where the clip went, but that roll got me the prompt to read a book that is on a topic I know nothing about, and I don't like those absolutes like that. So what I did was I just, when I was first going through the prompts for that challenge, I had my husband just list off topics until we hit one that I was like, what's that? And the topic was steganography. So I just hopped on to Goodreads and found a book called Investigator's Guide to Steganography. That sounded right up my alley, so I ordered a copy on Abe Books, and so I have that. So that's what I'm reading. And now we go to Book Right's Read Harder Challenge, and I need 2 books off of that. I've already got 1 on the TBR, so we'll roll for the second. Again, I have 5 prompts that I can choose from, and let's go with the purple. D6, again, if I roll a 6, I roll again. It's a 4. So that prompt is a book by or about a refugee. So I am going to go with, I don't really know much about this book, The Girl Who Smiled Beads, but it's been recommended to me quite a bit. So next is the Sirens Reading Challenge, and I need to read 2 books from that. I'm going to go ahead and put Slice of Cherry on the list because I already have the library book checked out and I'm a ways into it, so I want to finish that one before moving on to another Sirens book. So I've got, there's 16 books besides Slice of Cherry on the list, but I actually have copies already of 7 of them, so I'm going to roll a d8, and of course if it's an 8, I roll again. What color? Let's see. Ooh, I have not used this one. It's a swirly clear and blue swirl. So let's see what we get. And that is a 1. Jade City. All right. I will finish Jade City. So here is my TBR tower for September. There are actually 39 books total on my TBR, so just to make it around 40, I added that I would need to read, at least get started on a banned book. And there's, for the Pop Sugar Challenge, there's a prompt to read a banned book during Banned Books Week, which in the United States it starts in late September and then goes into early October. I think it ends October 3rd. So it's entirely reasonable to go ahead and start it in September, even if I don't finish it until October. And I'm going to do, what is the title? The Boys on the Island and Everything Goes to Shit. What's that one? I keep wanting to call it The Lost Island, and that's not right. Lord of the Flies. That's it. Got it. So either that, which I know I have a copy of somewhere, and I might do 50 Shades of Grey instead, because a friend of mine gave me a copy a long time ago and wanted me to read it, and I don't want to read it. But I can't review it if I don't read it, and I want to review it more than I want to read it. if that makes sense. So one of those two. And I can't lay my hands on either copy right now, so it's not in the tower. Also not in the tower is Night, which I don't know. I saw it recently, but I don't know where it's got to. But all the others that I currently have physical copies of, I gathered together in the tower. Here they are. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not gonna read all of these, I know, which is sad. So, yay, there you go. There is my TBR for September. And like, subscribe. See you around.